Welcome back. This morning, we're spotlighting a trial that we're going to be covering for you next week. It is the My Daughter Did It murder trial of Laurie Shaver. Shaver is accused of shooting her husband, Michael, to death in November of 2015. Michael Shaver was working as a monorail technician at Disney, and his remains were found buried beneath a fire pit in the couple's backyard in February of 2018. Now, Shaver claims that her now teenage daughter confessed to killing Michael when she was just 7 years old. Now, on Friday, Shaver appeared in court. The state won a very important motion to exclude testimony from a witness who talked with the defendant's daughter about what she said happened when her father was killed.
The second portion of the state's motion focuses on statements made by the defendant's daughter, Isabel Shaver, to Mr. Narvaez. As we know, the defense is going to potentially be that Ms. Shaver, Isabel Shaver, was the one that actually shot the victim. Ms. Shaver made statements to Mr. Narvaez years later indicating such. Those are clear out-of-court statements made by a witness, Ms. Isabel Shaver, to Mr. Narvaez, used to prove the truth of the matter asserted, so they are clearly hearsay.
All right, so here with us this morning, we want to welcome in Laurie Shaver's attorney, Jeffrey Wiggs. Jeffrey, good morning. Thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Certainly. So soon after Laurie's daughter said that she killed her father. This was soon after Laurie was arrested. Apparently, the child made this admission. And so this is kind of hard, I think, for all of us to wrap our heads around. A 7-year-old girl admits to killing her father then. What's changed now? Fast forward now here, we're getting ready for trial. What, if anything, is different?
Well, really what happened is the child had stepped forward at the beginning of this incident and relayed to me what had happened. I kept it really very brief and had an attorney, independent attorney assigned on her behalf, and that's Kelly Johnson. Kelly represents the minor child, but the minor child has always persisted. She wants the truth to come out. She wants the jury to know what happened. So she feels regretful what happened, but the whole matter was a matter of defense for her mother. She stood there and watched her mother being beaten, saw her mother crying for help, and the father threatening to kill her. That's how this matter surfaced. Ms. Johnson and myself went to the state attorney's office. We wanted to relay to them that this child had stepped forward and what they might want to do. There was another individual in the house at that time that actually discharged the gun after the minor child and disposed of the body. We relayed that to the state. They were not interested in getting down to the truth and really digging into this as we were. But here we go. Now we're set for trial.
So a couple questions. I want to take these in turn. So the other individual who you're saying was there, who is this boy? Is this an ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, Miss Shaver at that time was dating a man by the name of Jeremy Townsend. Mr. Townsend walked in, incident to the child shooting the father, who was not supposed to be in the residence, and came in the residence trying to persuade Laurie to go back with them, and she wouldn't go back with him. And then this altercation erupted. He was shot and was sitting in a chair, and Mr. Townsend came in and finished him off. Told Miss Shaver to get the kids out of there and he would take care of this. He took the body somewhere unbeknownst to Miss Shaver, and later it ended up in the backyard, unbeknownst to Miss Shaver. They had an area that they were preparing to make a duck pond out of. It later got abandoned, and that became the patio.
So when did she start dating Jeremy Townsend?
Well, it was some time before then. The exact dates, I don't know. Either Miss Shaver will testify to that. We've subpoenaed Mr. Townsend, having relayed to the state what had happened. I don't know if Mr. Townsend, will show up, we have been unable to get service on him. He has an attorney. We asked if they would accept service. They indicated they have, but I haven't seen a return of service come back.
Gotcha.
So I presume Mr. Townsend has some deal negotiated with the state, whether he shows or not.
And Jeffrey, you mentioned maybe Laurie will testify to that. Is your client, Laurie Shaver, going to testify?
That's always a decision I leave to the client. I advise them one way or another as to my feelings on the matter, let them make the ultimate decision at the trial. After they've heard the evidence, let them make the decision.
Sure. So backing up again, I want to go back to the child who was 7 years old at the time. How in the world did that child know how to operate a firearm?
This child, no age has been placed on this child. The child was deposed. The state inquired as to her age. The child really couldn't articulate as to her precise age at that stage. The state doesn't have a firm date of death regarding Mr. Shaver. They have a speculative death based on their own conjecture. The medical examiner was deposed. It was his testimony. The body could have been in the ground for a matter of months to several years. So that's incumbent upon the state to establish the date of death, but they're going to have some problems with that issue amongst others.
Appreciate that. So there was also evidence about alleged abuse that's been blocked from coming into the case. How might that affect your defense case, Jeffrey?
Yeah. Well, this was a marriage. This man repeatedly battered Laurie. And we're not fabricating this. There's court records that show applications for injunctions. There's a prior conviction on Mr. Shaver for battery. And multiple DCF reports. There will be some inkling of information that comes out. Now, I'm concerned, as anybody should be, that other incident reports and other data don't flood the trial to where they become the center of the action. But there's photos of injuries and other events that occurred, and the minor child will be testifying and give testimony why she acted in this manner. And I expect that child in those photographs and some of that testimony and the prior events will come in that fashion.
This is quite a case. As you well know, Jeffrey Wiggs, thank you so much for coming on the program. We certainly would welcome you back after everything gets underway, and take good care, and we'll speak again soon, I hope.
Okay. Appreciate your time. Thank you.